Hey everyone, welcome. 9 months ago we started with the server configuration for a friend of mine. It was an old decommissioned Gen 6 server from HP. On that server we installed ESXi as the hypervisor. On top of that we installed OpenMediaVault for his NAS configuration. OpenMediaVault was installed on a 1TB NVMe SSD. And we passed through some 8TB hard drives for his data store, for his data collection. That all went really well and he's currently using that server. Now that server isn't any good if he doesn't have a proper backup configuration. So last month we installed a SuperMicro server with 16 3TB hard drives for a total of 48TB. That gave him plenty of room to store all his backups. Not only from his OpenMediaVault server, but from his clients as well. Now on that backup server I also installed OpenMediaVault because he's getting familiar with OpenMediaVault and I want to keep things simple for him. I will also leave links to the previous videos in this series in the video description for you, so you can check them out. Now in this video we're going to finalize the backup server for him so he can actually start creating backups. So what you see in the background is not his OpenMediaVault installation because he already uses his server. This is just an instance I run on one of my servers and we're going to use this server to create a backup to his server. That's currently next to me, his backup server that is. So this will be our source and this will be our destination. Now in the previous video we already created the RAID array on this server. It's on gbot still. So we created a RAID 6 configuration on this server, I believe. Not even sure anymore. Yeah, a RAID 6 configuration. So that will leave him with 38 usable terabytes in this disk configuration. More than enough for him. We will use Duplicati in this video to create the backups. But first we will need to have some data we can back up to his server. So let's open FileZilla. So we're gonna connect to my OpenMediaVault server with my password. Yes. And then we navigate to SRV. And here you can see dev disk by label data. This is our actual data share backup. Yeah, this OpenMediaVault server I'm currently logged into is also the backup target of my Unraid server. So therefore you can see Unripper. I haven't changed that name yet. But we're gonna create a new folder here. And we call this one source. And we will need some data in that folder as well. So we're just gonna use Windows Vista, the Windows Vista ISO. Very old, but doesn't really matter, just about the data. And that one is copying, yes, and the data is copied to the folder source. Nice. So, back at our OpenMediaVault installations in the background, have to keep them apart. This one is mine and this one is his. Okay, so first we're going to start with my server. And on this server we're going to install Duplicati. So we go to plugins and we're going to search for Duplicati. And here you can see it on the bottom, OpenMediaVault Duplicati 4.0. Well, that's fine for this. So we're gonna select this, we hit install. Do you really want to install the selected plugins? Yes, please. Now, how we got to this point where we already installed the OpenMediaVault extras plugin, etc. I will just have to refer you to all the videos where we did the complete installation of all these packages and plugins, etc. and the installation of OpenMediaVault itself. So if you need a bit of information, please check out those videos and I will explain in those videos on how to install all that stuff. So this one is done, so we're gonna hit close. Page will reload, yes. So if you scroll down we can see a Duplicati right here. And we want to enable this, and we want to enable this on the actual IP address. That's 192.168.10.5 in my case. I'm gonna enable that on that. Save. And we will have to apply these settings. Yes. So that one is running now. Now I have installed Duplicati on this setup before just to test things out. So once you hit Open Web Interface, you will need to put in your password. First launch, you will not have set a password, and then you are prompted with this screen where you can set your password. I already set mine, it just remembers it. So yeah, you can do it here. After that, just hit OK, it will save the password and then you are good to go. So then you are landed on this page and this is home. This is the main screen. I'm still planning a video only on Duplicati itself because the settings and all the customizations you can do on this package can be a bit much if you just dive into this. But you can, it's free. I mean, you can try it for yourself. And if you really like the project, you can even hit the donate button and support the developers even more. Yeah, so for this we're just gonna do the steps we have to do. And for that we're just gonna click on add backup. Configure a new backup, yes please. This backup will be done through SFTP with username and password. So we're gonna call this backup test. For encryption, we're just going to use the built-in encryption. Passphrase, well, just a simple password. Strength is useless. We need a better one. Still useless, but a bit better. It will do for now. We're just going to hit next. Backup destination. This will be... No, I don't want to save this. Backup destination. This will be the destination of that server next to me, his backup server. So that will be a SFTP or SSH connection. Now for server and port name, we will just use the IP address 192.168.10.144 on port 22. Path on the server, yeah, we will need a folder to store our backup. So let's go back to FileZilla. That will be 192.168.10.144. Username will be root. Password on port 22. Quick connect, yes please. Establish new connection, yes. Okay. And let's see, that will be in SRV dev disk by label backup. And here is our test share. We can just use this folder. So I'm gonna copy this line on the remote side. We go back and we paste in this line, yes. So this will be the path on the server. The username will be root as well. And password will be the password for the root account. Test connection. No certificate was specified previously. Please verify the server administrator that the key is correct. It is. Connection worked. Okay. You can also set up advanced options. As I mentioned before, there will be a video coming up for just Duplicati itself. We will cover all those options in that video. So for now we're gonna hit next. I'm not gonna save it. This will be the source data. So that will be the data from my server. And the source data will be in computer. And that will be in shared folders. Backup source. That's the folder we copied the Windows Vista ISO to. So this will be the source folder. We're not gonna apply any filters and we're not gonna use exclude rules. We're just gonna hit next for now. Automatically run backups. This is what we want. If a date was missed, the job will run as soon as possible. So we're gonna set up for 16:10. Run every day. Allowed days, well, every day of the week basically. Next. General options. Here you can set the volume size. So it's split up each backup file to a max of 50 megabytes. Of course, you can set this to 500 megabytes or gigabytes even. We will leave it at default for now. Backup retention. We will keep a specific number of backups and that will be 5. Once there are more backups than the specified number, the oldest backups are deleted. Well, it speaks for itself. Advanced options you can... As I mentioned before, the settings can be a bit confusing when you get started with this. So for now we will just use the standard settings and we're gonna hit save. Your passphrase is easy to guess. Consider changing passphrase, just want to use the weak passphrase. Thank you. So this is the backup and now we're just gonna start it manually by hit run now. And it will start the backup for us in the background. Now the first backup will take some time. After that it's just incremental and it will just keep up the changes of the backup. So this first backup is finally done and it took a whopping 14 minutes. Yeah, I saw the speeds were not getting past 100 megabit per second. Now of course keep in mind it's also doing encryption at the same time. But there's probably something to gain there. Now with my own configuration from Duplicati to my backup server, it's getting higher speeds. It uses the caching SSD, so that will have some impact as well. But we have a backup now. And tomorrow at the same time it will start again doing the backup if the server is powered on. Now, for example, it is tomorrow 4:10 and it wants to backup. So we're gonna run backup now. it doesn't have any changes, and we can see it is done in 7 seconds. So yeah, that's basically what you can expect with a backup solution like this. So yeah, we have a backup now. Now we want to restore the backup so we know our backup actually works. For that we're going to delete the file on the source side. So that will be on my server. And that will be this server in this tab, so in FileZilla. I'm just gonna delete this ISO file, really delete one file from the server. Yes please. Then we go back to our browser. So on the left we click on restore. Where do you want to restore from? We only have one configuration, so we're going with the one on the bottom. That one is test. We're gonna hit next. What do you want to restore? This one. That's the only file we have now, so we're gonna restore that. We're gonna hit continue. Where do you want to restore the files to? Well, the original location, that would be nice. How do you want to handle existing files? Override, or you can select save different versions, and it will just add the timestamp to the file name, so it will be a different file. You will have 2 of them. And with that we're gonna hit restore. Verifying remote data. Downloading files. So now it's getting the files back from our backup location to our source. Your files and folders have been restored successfully. So nice. If you go back to FileZilla, yeah, you can already see it on the background. 3.7 gigabyte. So now that we have a backup and we have a working configuration, we have a server that is currently equipped with 16 hard drives, which are consuming quite a lot of power, to be honest. And it's only a backup server. It will not be used for anything else. So what I want to do for him next is put the server to sleep at a specific time, and wake it up at a specific time, do the backup, go to sleep again, wake up, do the backup, in that particular order. So for that we go to his Open MediaVault instance, and we're gonna log in again, and we have on the left power management. We go to that, then we go to scheduled jobs, and we're gonna click on add a scheduled job. We make sure this is enabled. Hour, that will be 16, yes. Day of month, every day, month, every month, and so on. Now I don't want to check these options, because if I choose this, it will every 33 minutes it will initiate our schedule. So we don't want that. So this is what we want. 16:33, yes please. We're gonna hit save, and this can be literally any given time, of course. So I'm gonna hit apply, yes. So we go to dashboard, and at the moment, almost 1 minute. Yeah, so that works. So it goes into standby. Of course, what we want now is to get it out of the... Yeah, an error occurred, I know. What we want to do now is get it out of the hibernation mode. So at first we have to wake it up. So I'm gonna wake it. Give it some time to start up. So now we're gonna install a plugin to get this server out of hibernation mode. So we go to plugins, and we're gonna search for wake. And here you can see on the top, wake alarm. Just gonna install this plugin, really small plugin. Hit install, yes please. For him, I think this is the easiest way to manage the time schedule. So that's why we go with this at the moment. Close. Okay, reload. And now you can see on the left scheduled wake alarms. We're gonna navigate to that, and we're gonna hit add. Now basically the same settings as with the hibernation mode we configured a minute ago, only a different time of course. So for the wake up part, let's choose 16:45. Yes, 16:45, that will be that, and this will be initiated every day of the week of the month. Gonna hit save. That will be it. Apply, yes. So now what we want to do is go back to power management, and we go to scheduled jobs. We're gonna edit our standby time, and let's give it 5 minutes. Will that be enough? Give it 10 minutes, just for testing. So 16:45, that will be 16:55. like this, yes. That it will go into hibernation mode again. Apply, yes. Okay, so we go back to Duplicati and we're gonna edit our configuration. Next. Next. And we want to start this at 1650. Next. Save. Okay. Now we go back to his instance and we're gonna put it to sleep manually. And see what happens. Okay, let's switch back to my server. So the server's put to sleep. And let's see what it does at 1645. Let's see, this one needs to be edit. Next. 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 This will need to start today. So that will be 14th. Yes. Next. Save. Otherwise it's not going to work, obviously. So let's see what happens. Almost. Okay. So the backup server is booting up now. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, for this server it will take for about 2 minutes to start completely. Let's log in. So within 1 minute this one will start backing up the data to this server, which is running a newer version than I am, 5.8. Mine is running at 4.19. Yeah, good to know. Okay, let's switch to this one. Test starting. Verifying backend data. And this one is done with 2 versions now. So now it's just waiting to see if this one goes to sleep again. So this one stopped updating. So, well, this was basically the most basic way to put our server to sleep, wake it up again, and in this way save energy. Well, yeah, that's basically it. Of course, you can just use a nice script with this as well. At the end of the last backup, go to sleep. And then, of course, use the wake up function on this server side. For him, I think this was the easiest way to set this up. He can change the time window, for example, to 4 hours. And within that 4 hours, it can back up, do its thing, go to sleep again. With that, he will still save 20 hours of, well, yeah, not doing anything with his server on his electricity bill. So yeah, with that being said, I will leave the video at this. As I mentioned before, we will cover more of Duplicati on the video where we will cover Duplicati, if that makes any sense. If you have any comment suggestions, maybe some advice, you can leave them down in the comment section. Thank you all for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!